What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and welcome on back to Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. So, in between episodes, I did do some exploring. I did find some Dariada off in the outskirts here by Forlorn Swords. I just figured I'd clean up this last bottom part of the map before we head on back into the main story. And I found a little Dariada camp, and it turns out one of these guys can make the heart that he was looking for. Well, he needed a weird stone and some other items. I already had plenty of ethereal cobwebs, so I just needed the weird stone. I went back to the Blood Lake in Act 1 to grab that up, and then I figured it was about time for a respec too. So, looking at our new stats here, we have 14 strength, 18 endurance, 6 dexterity, 4 practicality, and 11 perception, which puts us at 197% melee damage, 202% attack speed. We're doing 460 almost percent sneak damage, which is going to be really good when we open with that bow that we're still using. We have 87% critical chance, which is way up from where we were before, and our crit damage is 303. Now, where the new items get interesting is this has given us an extra 18% crit chance. I went ahead and leveled this up a little bit, and I found this axe while I was exploring, which is called the Shadowfang Reaver. And critical hits with this weapon deal additional 200% damage. So our crit damage is way up from where it was before. That dagger was giving us 25 per dash counter we had, which evens out to about 100%. This is doing 200%, so we buffed our crit damage, and our crit chance is up too, I think by about 20%, I think. So, yeah. Everyone's having a real bad day.
You're out of your...
That's how the auto attack looks. It's pretty bad for everybody else. It's very good for us. Let's see how the bear holds up against this build. I haven't tested it much outside of looking what it was like on paper, but as you can see, the bears, they don't hold up good against us anymore. And I think the bears were the hardest thing we were dealing with, so... yeah. Very bad day for everybody. We are going to be popping off with this build. Now let's go get our blacksmith friend, his new heart, and we'll go back and give that to him, and then I assume we'll be heading on down the trail to look for the Holy Grail after we do this, because we took care of Niante before. Maggot said he was out, so it just leaves the blacksmith's apprentice, and this should be everything that he needs. And he should sign on too, hopefully. I brought the weird steel and the ethereal cobweb for Bior's heart.
Good. Give me a moment to find the right song.
He did mention that after he gives us this, we'll have to fill it, but...
yeah, your friend will have a strong, beautiful heart. At least in terms of craftsmanship. The rest is up to you. The art is just an empty vessel. It needs to be filled to start beating.
Filled with what?
Life, of course. A heart must be full of life to start beating. But we'll talk about that when you return.
What do I need to do?
Well, there are two ways. Through death, or through sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
You can pour some of your own life into the art. It'll weaken you, sure, but I'd say some sacrifices are worth making. Besides, I believe it will give you another kind of strength. Something far more valuable than what you've lost.
What if I give him an empty heart?
Then he'll have a cold lump of steel in his chest. What do you think?
And the death option?
No, of course not. You can fill it with the life of creatures you kill, but it'll take some time. A life torn away is far less willing than a life freely given, and I can't say what effect it'll have on Beor. It's not a method we use often.
Thanks for your help.
If you want to fill it up with the energies of things you kill, just hold it up when you fight. It will collect life, and at some point, will give you a sign that it's beating again. Come to me and I'll bind life to the heart. If you decide to fill it with your own energy, just tell me. Either way, come back with either a full heart or when you make up your mind.
Well, I'm curious. So we have to give him 30 max health for that. What is our current health at? Our current health is at 194, so that'll take us to 164. Well, if something's hitting us for 30 damage... we're pretty beefy right now. I think we can afford to give 30.
Of course. This part never gets old. Remember, don't resist it. Let go of your instincts and focus on the heart. You'll feel a bit weak afterward, but don't worry. Strength can always be rebuilt. Here, feel how warm it is. It will serve Beor well.
Okay. So now if we go to stats, we're at 164. But he did say, at least I'm pretty sure he said, that strength can be rebuilt. So I assume I'll either get that health back over time, or he just means by leveling up. But either way, I'm not too worried about 30 health. And I don't want to give him a strange heart that's just going to do him dirty in the end, right? I'd rather have him beefed up and ready to go to make sure the blacksmith doesn't have to leave the journey midway through. So I'm okay with making a little sacrifice. We got plenty of level up left to go anyways. We didn't even start Act 3 yet, so if it really comes down to brass tacks, I can just put some points into health to get that back. Don't need that marker anymore. Alright, let's go back to the blacksmith. We'll give him his heart, and then Beor should be locked and loaded. Assuming this works. If he just explodes when I give it to him, that'd be real unfortunate.
You're just in time. The forge is ready.
I hope you're ready. I spoke to Kior, a stone warden. He managed to forge a new heart for you.
What? That's amazing. What materials did he use? What else was needed? Did he tell you how to make it? Oh my. I have so many questions. But those can wait. First things first. For this, I will need your help, my friend. Once more, as always. So, shall we begin?
Lie down, close your eyes, and don't worry. Kior made sure the new heart is strong.
Okay then. Let's see if those Stone Warden legends have a grain of truth in them. I suppose that's it. Surprising how simple it is to look into someone's heart and tear it out, isn't it?
I hope that was a little better than what what the cave wench did to you. How do you feel?
It's different. Everything looks a bit like it's mired in fog. But I don't feel bad. In fact, I feel good. I feel stronger. I guess more will become clear with time. For now, I'll just have to wait and see. The measure of my debt to you is 2 hearts. I don't know how a man could ever repay something like that. I'll be going back to work. Visit me sometime. Don't be a stranger.
Well, keep up the good work. Can we talk about Yvain's expedition now?
Beor's fully recovered. He's doing well and making his own decisions. He doesn't need an old man hovering over him anymore.
Very good.
And, well, to be honest, I've been waiting for this moment. I'm proud of him. But you didn't hear that from me.
God forbid you let him know that.
You've done right by me. So I'll give you some advice. This whole expedition is madness. But as they say, sometimes there's method in madness. And I'll admit, I'm glad these old bones can still be useful. I might not think much of our Lord, but I won't turn my back on him when he needs help. This isn't just about him. It's about our home. I'll do whatever I can for Caradoc.
I think you would think a lot more of him
He
if
can
you
count on me.
understood
Even
what
if
he's
it's
putting on
the
the line
last
here to keep
journey I'll
Caradoc
ever
to your
take.
home in the first place. Because without him, your ass would be shipping off to Camelot in the morning. Put his ass on the line for you. I think the residents here should be a little more grateful of that. And maybe the fact that he doesn't have, as you would say, like a sterling reputation, maybe that's influencing him a little to take this risk for his people, but still, stepping up is stepping up. The motivation doesn't really matter in the end, does it? As long as you're doing the right thing. You can do the right thing for the wrong reasons, but it's still the right thing. You should still be praised for that. And let's tell him everybody's ready to go. Now, he did tell me before I left to recruit these people that he was going to go regardless of even if they said yes or no. So he was willing to do this by himself too, and just walk away and die. so that Camelot couldn't do anything with Caradoc. It's a win-win for him for what he wants, right? He wants this place to stay put. And so if he goes off and dies in the fog alone, he still gets what he wants, because they won't take this place until he returns or is proven dead.
Stay safe.
About the companions for your journey.
What news? The people I told you about. Have any of them agreed to join me on the quest for the Holy Grail?
2 out of 3. 2 of them have agreed to join.
Well done. Naturally, I would have preferred to bring them all, but 2 will make fine company.
You're still gonna get 3, because I'm
Along the
coming.
way, we'll meet others willing to lend us their skills. After all, I can hardly believe you're the only one bold enough to roam the world in search for adventure. You've done me a great favor, so allow me to repay you. Before I depart, know this. You brought change to Connacht and earned my deepest gratitude. Let my repayment be the blessing my lineage received from King Arthur himself.
Interesting.
Be the shield that watches over Connacht, as House Terion has done for generations.
Would that make me the actual Shield of Palamedes? Surely not, right? I guess it was. Oh, I thought that was changed for a second. Yeah, I guess that does make us the Shield of Palamedes.
I am his oath, the weight of duty that shields the faithful. I am the wall between order and ruin.
Let's talk to this before we get to that. This usually has a little more dialogue.
He was the shelter against the storm. He was the vow unbroken, the bulwark that stood when all else fell.
Very cool. Looks like we're in for another cutscene here too. Danheim going super hard in the background of this.
You can't just allow for things like that to happen. Not ever again. Not when the kingdom is beginning to find its way. You're the king, and that comes with a whole lot more responsibility. You can't let people like Merlin do what they want, even if their intentions are pure. You must see the danger now.
The memory of Seawall is my burden. Harder to bear than I'd like to admit. But I've realized that his story is what happens when power answers to no one.
Then do something so that a tragedy like that never happens again.
Palamedes, you've always spoken your mind, even when I didn't want to hear it. You've stood beside me through the darkest days and fought not for glory, but for Avalon and its people.
I have done only what I believe was right, nothing more.
Yes, and that made me realize that Merlin was wrong. The legacy I leave won't endure through the legend of a single man, whether it's me or anyone else. I decided to give my sword to the Horns of the South, to bind them not to me, but to the people. But Avalon needs more than that. It needs structures, memory, and resistance to corruption. It needs the foundation of something greater than any one of us.
A shield?
Yes. One to guard Avalon, even from itself. You've proven yourself time and again, so my shield is yours, Palamedes. Not just to wield, but to become. Let your bloodline anchor what my reign could not.
And you believe I am worthy of such a responsibility?
I will not fail you, my king.
Don't carry this burden for me, Palamedes. You never have. Carry it for
Palamedes is kind of the goat.
And may your name be a blessing upon this land for generations to come.
That is the kind of advisor you need. Someone that's going to tell you you're wrong, even when you don't want to hear it. really no conversation, huh, about Palamedes? Okay, what do we have now? We have the shield. Activating the King's Soul creates a blast of energy, dealing damage around you. You create another blast of energy when the King's Soul ends. Enemies take the amount of damage you have dealt to them when using King's Soul once again after it ends. When using King's Soul, the weird shield collects 10% of the damage dealt to you. When King's Soul ends, you gain mana shield equal to accumulated damage. If King's Soul is fully charged, automatically use it. When using King's Soul, you deflect all incoming projectiles. Finishes restore 400% more. When using a King's Soul, your damage increases by 50% for each enemy killed. When using King's Soul, you receive 50% less damage. So we get the blast no matter what now, I think. So let's take the DR, because we're going to be popping it probably during boss fights, right? So the DR would definitely make sense. Because we're using it in those big clutch moments where something is too beefy for us to handle. I can't believe we don't have a conversation with Arthur right there. I guess we get this one still.
I understand. The shield isn't an object. It's the bloodline itself. But I also remember the shield was meant to resist. Not enemies, not blades, but corruption, compromise, cowardice. Palamedes understood that. Nothing I've seen here reminds me of him. Nothing resembles the kingdom we were trying to build. Lord Yvain, a joke of a man. A mere shadow of his ancestor. Not worthy of his title, nor of leading his people.
To be fair, he did step up. He's the reason we're having this conversation right now. Aren't you being a bit harsh?
I tried to build something lasting. Something that wouldn't depend on me to survive. I distributed power, tied it to oaths, not blood. Gave regions autonomy, left behind symbols to bind them. But what we've seen so far, that's not a kingdom. That's theater. People playing at being lords and commanders, taking on roles they don't even understand.
He's not wrong about that. I mean, look at what Camelot's doing to the land. Look at what was happening with the Horns of the South when we rolled up. What is it that Denholm and Yvain don't understand?
All I've seen here is fear. Indecisive men wearing the mask of power. But their power comes from symbols they don't even understand. And when a decision needs to be made, they hesitate. When danger appears, they flinch. Denholm, commander of Camelot's forces, is incapable of acting without direct orders. Yvain, a descendant of Palamedes, yet too weak to stand against choices that harm his people. Their fear breeds indecision. If you cannot choose, you cannot protect. And if you cannot protect, Avalon rots.
Some wisdom and all that. But Yvain did choose to seek the Grail. That has to count for something.
It was you the men here responded to, and you who rekindled it. You did all the work, turned the situation into something Yvain could exploit. Without that, Caradoc would still be waiting. For what? A miracle?
He's also not wrong there either.
I have to come back. Without us, without hands that act, this land just waits and rots.
You told him Merlin may disagree. What did you mean?
Merlin wanted me to become a symbol. But I realized that one person, one myth, won't be enough. This kingdom needed more. It needed to stand on stronger foundations. And so, I left mementos behind, to serve as cornerstones for various facets of the kingdom. It seems we were both wrong about this.
You make it all sound obvious, but this is a rather complex political situation.
Yes, the situation is complex. But that is precisely the burden of a leader. Complexity does not excuse paralysis. And yet they sit in deadlock, doing nothing, while the world around them fractures.
This shit is why I love King Arthur. What would you do in this situation?
Turn every resource toward understanding why the weirdness is returning and stopping it. Hiding in Camelot is cowardice. Staying here? Stupidity. But what I would do doesn't matter. This is precisely why Palamedes was made Avalon's shield. To judge for himself what serves the people. Even if it meant standing against me.
Why do you think your kingdom isn't prospering?
We gave our people peace, but they've come to take it for granted. Perhaps those who live without struggle grow soft, and in comfort, they let go of their values. Symbols, without the will to uphold them, are little more than ornament.
Everything he just said is exactly true. What is the saying? Hard men or strong men make good times make weak men make hard times make strong men. It is exactly how it works in the real world too. You get complacent and comfort makes you fat and stupid, and then you stop standing for the things you believe in. You become lazy, weak to everything, and then that eventually causes some kind of collapse that creates people like Arthur to step up. Except for the symbol of a shield, what did Palamedes receive?
I named his bloodline the Shield of Caradoc, and granted them dominion over this menhir, with full autonomy. The land here is among the richest in Avalon. This place was meant to stand as a counterweight to Camelot's rising power.
What do we do now?
Well, my friend, they still call me the once and future king. Still hold feasts in my name. Feasts won't save them, but action might. We've wasted enough time. Let's move to the Forlorn Swords and find my crown. Let's make me whole. It's the last hope for this wretched kingdom of ruin.
He took a dark turn on his opinions of Avalon, didn't he? First he was all about how it wanted to have it stand on its own, and now he's basically saying this shit is doomed without me. I guess I passed out during that.
If I just stay put, everything will be just fine.
His opinion and perspective is exactly what's wrong with this place. Alright, so if we look at our quests, the last piece of Arthur's soul is the temptation. We've been going for around 24 minutes, so I guess we should probably try and wrap up some of these side quests inside Caradoc before we decide to press on. I expected us to find the actual Shield of Palamedes at some point, I won't lie.
Are you sure you want to do this? You can still back out. Camelot will surely forgive you for this insubordination.
I have never been more certain of anything in my life. This is the only way.
Fine. Do as you will. Look who woke up. You're a bit late, though. You missed the show. Our Lord gave a rousing speech to his subjects explaining why he's going to leave them in these dire times. I'll leave you two. I need to start cleaning up the mess you made, Yvain. And before I forget, some shady-looking character was looking for you. Didn't tell me his name, but said you're old friends. Said he'll wait nearby.
That'd be Caradoc.
Greetings, friend of our house. What may I do for you today?
In my vision, I met Palamedes. You do him proud.
Really? I hope he supports my decision to embark on the quest for the Holy Grail.
I'm sure he would.
In truth, it doesn't really matter. I made my decision, and I'll stand by it, whether my noble ancestor approves or not.
Which is more worthy of note than the statement implies.
I trust you will ensure that his blessing was not squandered.
The decision brings glory back to House Tarion.
House Tarion ends with me. Lady Maeve was never granted the chance to give me an heir, and I couldn't bring myself to take another wife or continue the lineage while the world I knew crumbled around me. But your words are kind. The story of my family began in glory, and in glory, it will end.
King Arthur was a little harsh on him, but I don't believe what King Arthur said about him, at least, to be true. When are you setting out on your quest for the Grail?
As soon as the necessary preparations are complete. With any luck, it won't take much longer. Ansem will assume my duties in my absence. He is my most trusted man, and he is respected by the people. For now, he's assisting me in gathering supplies. I do not know when or if I will return. Kurnocht and its people must be ready for either eventuality.
What will happen to Kurnocht?
I cannot say for certain, but I have faith that Ansem will manage. Truth be told, he's been the one keeping things in order for quite some time now. Since Maeve's passing, I've been all too aware of how much I've neglected my responsibilities. Camelot will keep the peace in my stead, and I can only hope that the people of Kurnocht will come to trust Denholm and his men. We may not agree on every matter, but I cannot deny Denholm's honor. When I return, it will have to be enough. And so, I thank you once more. House Tarion is... no, wait. I am personally deeply indebted to you. Because of your efforts, my family has the chance to reclaim the glory it once knew. Farewell.
Farewell. I think he's a good man. And now we have the pleasure of talking to Caradoc. So let's see how this one goes.
Well, well, look at you. Moving along nicely, aren't we? You're piecing him back together faster than I expected. We're getting closer to the end. And since you've proven yourself so capable, maybe it's time. You should have enough power now to enter his mansion. Here, go to this place and see if the door opens for you.
Arthur's mansion?
No. If you want to know the truth about the man pulling the strings,
Merlin, then.
take a look behind the curtain. It's the house of someone I once called my employer, Orin. The same one whose plans got you out of the island asylum.
What's in there?
I don't know. We stopped seeing eye to eye on certain things, and our relationship soured.
That's all you wanted?
No, not really. There's one last piece of Arthur's soul waiting for you. The third artifact. His crown, this time. You'll find it deep in the Forlorn Swords, in the capital city of Dalriata. Meet with Gerfan. He'll either attack you on sight, or explain everything patiently, depending on how he feels about... well, you'll see for yourself.
Depending on how he feels about King Arthur's soul being inside me, I assume. No surprises this time.
How would I know? I'd say going into Dalriata territory is a surprise all on its own. But don't worry. They've got bigger problems at the moment than you sneaking off with their sacred helmet.
That's their sacred helmet. And after that?
Once you're done, meet me at the Charred Conclave. That's where we'll finish this, one way or another.
One way or another, huh? And where would your tower be? Oh, that's the weird tower right there. Okay, so I'm gonna split this episode here then, and then we'll tackle the weird tower next time. We'll see what all that's about, and then after that, I guess we'll head on into Act 3, which would be the Forlorn Sword. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out the links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon with more Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.